to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And be scared, be afraid, be terrified. The New World Order is coming, and they're not even hiding it anymore. Australia's E-Commissioner, the E-Safety Commissioner, has asked for what she calls a recalibration of human rights and free speech. This recalibration means exactly what they want it to mean: the removal of human rights and free speech. Because the one thing that the elite at the World Economic Forum despise worst of all is human rights and free speech, because they don't like us having any rights whatsoever, and they hate us telling them what they are. We must fight to keep our free speech, and we must fight to keep our human rights. And if this means a revolution, so be it. But we will not have these taken from us. I demand to be treated as a human being and not as some number on the bottom of a balance sheet by these elite billionaires who have got complete control over us, but with no democratic mandate. Let's have a look at this article, and trust me, it's kind of scary, really. Here's the article as you see it from Breitbart. The World Economic Forum, Australia's E-Safety Commissioner, calls for recalibration of human rights and free speech. Now, she works for someone. Someone is paying her. Is it Soros? Who knows? Somebody is paying her a lot of money to come up with this, to basically put her own people in a blender. She's removing rights. She's supposed to be Australian, and she wants to remove rights and freedoms from Australian citizens, and in effect from every single one of us. But the thing is, they lie and they spin and they tell you it's for your good. We're going to remove your rights and your freedoms for your good. No. What we need to do is remove these people for our own good. Let's look at this. The Australian government's E-Safety Commissioner called for a recalibration of the right to freedom of speech at the World Economic Forum during its annual meeting, which sees global elites from enterprise and government descend on the ski resort town of Davos in Switzerland. Yes, to decide how they are going to control us, the nobodies. Speaking to the WF panel on Monday, Commissioner Julie Inman-Grant, who has undoubtedly been corrupted, spoke of the need to rethink various rights, including the right to free speech. She wants to rethink the right to free speech. And that tells you all you need to know about her, and you want to find out, Australia, who is putting money in her pocket, because she doesn't come up with this on her own. This comes from one of the rich elites, or in fact all of the rich elites. They want to remove free speech, because how dare we question them? How dare we tell other people exactly what we think of these people? Well, screw you. I will tell you exactly what I think of you, you lowlife, you vegetables, you parasites, you lizards, and if the world didn't have you anymore, the world would be a better place. Anyway, she went on, we are finding ourselves in a place where we have increasing polarisation everywhere. Yeah, because of people like you. And everything feels binary when it doesn't need to be. Yeah, some things really need to be binary. So I think we're going to have to think about a recalibration of a whole range of human rights that are playing out online. No. No. From the freedom of speech to being free from online violence. Well, let me tell you, you cannot have online violence. Because if I'm not there to physically abuse you, it's not violence, it's speech. And here's the thing. Oh, somebody's speaking. I don't like it. Turn it off. You're free of it then. Don't turn speech into violence and then claim that it needs to be controlled. I find what you are saying violence. Will you take yourself out of the equation? I bet you don't. I bet you don't. Australia's e-safety independent regulator, created following the passing of Australia's controversial Online Safety Act, is described as the world's first government agency now, committed to keeping its citizens safer online. No, committing to censoring the words and thoughts of its people. Censoring their expressions. Censoring their brains. Stopping people going online and saying, I disagree with this government. That's what it's doing. It's a fascist government with fascist rules that are bringing in to control people. They may as well slap yellow stars on us, because that's the direction of travel on this. And then they go on, won't somebody think of the children? Because it's always, won't somebody think of the children when they've got some really nasty piece of shit in mind? Let's go on with this one. The 52-year-old e-safety commissioner and corrupt cow, who was reappointed for a further 5-year term by the Australian government, so paid for out of the public purse, but the public don't get to say who the hell does the job. Earlier this year, also called for a similar readjustment for the right of data protection in the light of the right to child dignity. That means no right of data protection. But we'll just say child safety, but no right of data protection. We will scan everything you do, think, say, or write online, because we want to know what you're doing, what you're thinking. Are you talking about us? What are you saying? This is intrusion. This is fascistic intrusion. This is 1939 Germany, only this time with a cork hat. But it's aimed not just at Australians. This is aimed for every single human being on the damn planet. She is currently working with the White House Gender Policy Council, tells you all you need to know, as well as the government of Denmark on the Global Partnership for Action on Gender-Based Harassment and Abuse, tells you all you need to know. These people are sick, deranged, corrupt as hell, and they are deliberately targeting their own people for the billionaires who don't give a crap. Billionaires who would grind you into a machine if they thought they could turn your husk of a body into threepence profit. People like this need to be prosecuted for treason. The response was echoed by the Young Americans for Liberty YAL organisation. No thank you, not in America. Don't mess with our free speech here, wrote former Republican Joe Walsh. We like our First Amendment just fine. And the great thing about America is you've got a Second Amendment that keeps the First Amendment. Because without the Second Amendment, your First Amendment is gone. The World Economic Forum thinking they have any right whatsoever to weigh in on limits to free speech is ridiculous, wrote former Democratic presidential candidate Marianne Williamson. I apologise. So, you evil freaks, we will not be recalibrating anything. They are evil freaks. Every single one of them. You've just got to look at them. You've just got to look at the way they act, the way they move. I mean, Zuckerberg, tell me he isn't from another planet. Honestly, you pull the skin off, it's an alien lizard. He barely functions as a human being. Anyway, they're all the damn same. But this is what they want. They're coming after your rights of free speech. Do you have human rights? Human rights that poor people, the working class, the millions have died in wars to earn and to enjoy. And these bastards want to take it from us because we might interrupt what they want to do with their plaything, the planet Earth. I think we need to interrupt them with a short drop, with a sudden stop. Every single one of them. Word of the board sparked Republican outrage, with many comparing it to the Ministry of Truth. Well, that's where they're going, isn't it? That disseminated propaganda in the classic dystopian fiction novel 1984 while calling to defund it. We know we need more than defunding. These bastards in Davos, what we need to do If we don't act now, our children and our children's children will be manacled and shackled and sold. Those of them that are allowed to continue to live. Because we are heading to a dystopian future controlled by a rich cartel of elitists. And it begins with a single step. And the removal of human rights is that step. Say no. Thank you for listening. If you like what you hear and see on the channel, please subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notification of future output. Leave a like, leave a comment. And until next time, stay safe, stay well. Don't let them win. And goodbye.